Now, there's a lot to talk about with the finale of the Fairy Tail Dragon Cry movie. There was an end of credits scene involving two very important characters. Now, also as well, I'm going to be saying, so I know a lot of people haven't seen the Dragon Cry movie yet, but I do want to talk about this scene and a couple of discussions I want to talk about with the series itself. So I am going to also say as well in the video, if you don't want to know about the end of the credits scene, or you just want to know or where this could potentially lead, then go away, Skidoo, get out of there, because I have talked about one of them before, and now we've got full context with more scenes and more context with it, and another character appearing in this movie, which really goddamn made me fucking interested. So you have me warned, and we are going to be talking about it now. So the ending of the Dragon Cry movie, we do get to see about the origins and a relation of one of the movie characters between Acnologia. There is an actual connection between Sonia and Acnologia, which is a very interesting thing, as she has lived from what I said, how it's interpreting, she's been living for thousands and thousands of years, all the time and all that back to dragons. When we get to see some of the original dragons, we get to see the Jade Dragon, all these people, and Acnologia is the one that killed these dragons, because apparently he did actually care about humanity at some point, where it seems this sort of past where he has where we get to see this red ribbon that he kind of has this memory. He seems to actually did care about humanity, and was no, this is he sounds like he was doing it for a good cause at the point, but it sounds like he just generally went crazy. How we've always been talked about where he just bathed in so much dragon blood that he's gone completely insane at this point. If anything, I want a little bit more context to this and all that, because the scene is literally after what happens to Sonia, what happens to the dragon dying, the staff as well being destroyed. It turns into a little red ribbon, and it goes through the scenery, and then Acnologia picks it up in the desert in his human form, and you get to see this scene where he kills all of the dragons there. And I'm not gonna lie and all that, this is the first animated scene that we've ever seen an Acnologia in his human form, and I gotta say, it looks fucking badass. He looks terrifying as anything, and I'm not gonna lie, when they showed that, it really does show that they want to show more about these characters. I feel like it's a nice little bonus, and I hate the fact that some people actually walked out of the movie because they didn't know about the end of scene credits involving him and the character, and the fact that he's kind of involved as well with Sonia makes an interesting thing. It's this is maybe what Acnologia was fighting for, but he went so corrupt at this point that he's just pretty much fucking insane, where it sounds more if anything and all that, and I hope there's more to it, it generally sounds in his own way, Acnologia is a lot more comparable to someone like Xerath, where he was trying to do it for a noble goal, but actually went insane during the process. And maybe when we found out about Acnologia, that he was the kind of person that was I used to fight the justice, and I see the corruption of both humanity and dragons, and I just gave up, and I want to do whatever the fuck I want. And the second and most important scene, Xerath appearing at the end of the movie. But not just Xerath, and I fucking didn't know about this bit. I knew about the Acnologia part and all that. It was one of the first things that was really heavily leaked and all that when the Japanese came out. But when we got to see with that, Xerath watching him from the distance, he's in his royal garbs, and you get to see Invel and Brandish side by side with him, and we do get to hear these characters speak, and this is the first ever animated footage that we've actually seen of stuff past season 2. So they clearly have an interest in showing these characters. I know Brandish is a popular character from what it sounds like, whereas in Japan, and also as well from she's actually a big fan of one of the recent characters. I don't know about too much about Invel, whether or not, but it clearly shows as well with Mashimu and all that as well, where a lot of people are saying, well, how can this be canon? Obviously, he's not in his royal guards. We don't know. Obviously, you could context that out, and maybe saying, oh, it could be retconned in some way and all with the movie. And I feel that's a small thing compared to what the movie is, where it's trying to set up for the war. And also as well, it could just be hey guys, and all that, you want to know what fuck happens to all these characters, read the manga. There could be an Inuyasha situation that they did years and years and years ago, but it shows a lot as well where they could continue the series, and it honestly depends, and we had this last time, and I mentioned it in my full review as well. It could honestly depend on the success of the Dragon Cry movie. Whether or not it does well this could show whether or not people are interested in seeing more footage of Fairy Tail. Now, we had this with the Toriko movie. The Toriko movie came out at the same time as Gintama. It was a terrible fucking business move. Gintama crushed it, and this was the last shot that like Toriko was going to get for an anime or to come back in any kind of way, and the movie bombed. And even from what I heard, that from a lot of the fans and all that, Toriko and all that, is saying that the movie was pretty much just average and it wasn't anything special. And from where everywhere I've seen so far of the Dragon Cry movie, everyone's saying, yeah, the Dragon Cry movie is good, people enjoy it. However, it seems like it didn't do that amazing. It was also just like competing with some heavy numbers in there, but it seems like it didn't do like these blockbuster hits and all that in Japan. I think it literally debuted like number 10, and I think even as well, every time I've ever heard stories about Fairy Tail in Japan, it sounds like, honestly, it's not even that much of a popular series over there, where, like, you do have a few things here and there, but generally the fact of the matter is that with Fairy Tail, it's way much more of an American audience, it's way much more the English-speaking language that is way more into Fairy Tail, which I find kind of interesting. Like, I feel like that's, like, one of the series and all that. Like, also, we have other series as well, like, it's like, you know, with Bleach and all that, like, One Piece is, like, our Japan juggernaut. And over here and all that, it does well, but it isn't as popular as what it is in Japan and maybe in some other languages. So that could speak volumes on there. And I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that part of the movie, like, I genuinely, like, and that's how the movie cuts off with Zereth, I literally, like, as I was there and all that, I literally just went, and my friend isn't caught up with the manga yet, and he's like, what the fuck is this? And he knew it was Zereth, and he's like, who the fuck are these guys? Who the fuck is this lot there? And then he just went, wait, there's like a loot. And it's like, it was nuts. And like, even as well, a lot of people really wasn't unsure about this, even when I was in the cinema, because there was a good majority of people, there was a few people there that actually aren't caught up to the manga or didn't know too much, or even some people that only don't know very little about Fairy Tail. And I was like, it's a lot of people's kind of response to this, whereas like a lot of people kind of got the same response, whereas like they are setting something up big, and a lot of people kind of took away from that. They're doing another season of the anime, and this is kind of their confirmation of that. But I generally think and all that, how we're seeing it from business sides and all that, that it could honestly depend on there. If not and all that, I don't want to get people's hopes up too much, but this is, like, I would like to say, a proof of concept and a proof of interest, whether or not they want to do something. Maybe they might be changing the stuff around. Maybe, like, Dragon Cry could be a thing where it could just completely scrape out the Avatar art, and that's how they start there. That would be really nice. But the fact is that they're trying to make a movie, like, character and all that part of the canon. So that's very interesting. It's all done by Hiro Mashima, so I want to know about that. But so much to say and all that about it. And the fact is, I love the movie and I want to talk about more. And there is a discussion or two I have with some of the stuff in the movie involving Dragon Eyes Natsu, involving a couple other stuff as well. But I'll leave that as well. And also as well, I know some people don't know everything about the movie as well. But I definitely wanted to at least say, if people really want to know about these fucking scenes with Acnologia and Zereth, I hope at least and all that, even if the fact that you are slightly spoiled on that, and you're like, who cares and all that, I don't care. I hope that at least, like, this stuff with Acnologia and Zereth, which are two very fucking prominent characters, even interest you. I think the movie's fucking genial. First one that we had, and I hope maybe that might, some people might need that little bit more of the temptation on that, because I want this to do well, and if this is the chance on that this could actually make a season 3 of the anime, I'm full ready to jump in and support it, and I'm already in there. I've already bought my ticket. I went and watched it, and I loved it, and the fact is that I was expecting the movie, like the cinema, to be completely empty for the most part, and the fact is that we had, like, but pretty much most of the cinema filled and all that for the most part. It was a pretty big one, so I'm happy at least here it's doing well. But whether or not it does too well in Japan and all that, it's obviously the size and all that. So it's up to the fates and all that, whether or not we're going to be getting a season 3 or a continuation. But I wanted to see what you guys think in the comments section down below. That's all from me. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you guys, though, next time. Down below. That's all from me. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you guys, though, next time.